Hi, my sensitive souls out there, human angels. It's raining today. I'm really happy about it because I've been waiting this. I feel like I've been waiting this rain for so long. It's been so hot, which has been very draining. And I've been very tired because I was not able to sleep properly because of the heat. And now it's been a little cooler, which has been nice again, and right now just enjoying the rain in peace and not opening my emails intentionally, avoiding certain things that don't, so I was saying that intentionally avoiding those things that usually drain me out and don't give me energy, because that has been going on for too long. As you can probably imagine, if you know about my story, if you've been watching my videos, I've been really sharing a lot about my story and always sharing these honest life lessons and guidance. That's even though I'm not a psychotherapist, I'm sharing the same things that they would be sharing as well. And the topic of not having enough healthy boundaries in place comes to me. That I want to talk about. That's because you're sensitive and intuitive, and when you had to fight for your whole life, your health and sanity, because you had to do that in order to survive, when you've been encountering narcissistic people, toxic people, psychopathic people who just played with your mental health and emotions and physical health and all of that. And it's very difficult to be, dealing with that. So it's very simple and clear that when you've been abused ever since you have been a child, it's no wonder if you've been dealing with many of those toxic people in your life, because they have just been following you because you did not realize anything else, that basically, because you've been programmed that way as a child. So your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your energy, frequency and vibration, everything has been connected to that toxic energy, and you've been following that toxic energy, and it's been following you. So this is such an important pattern to cut off, because all they wanted was for you to blame yourself, to be gaslighted, manipulated, brainwashed, to be depressed, anxious, destroyed. That is the entire devil's plan. And it's your job, even though it can be so difficult, but it's your job to notice it and fix it, because it's your life. And it's your job to do whatever you need to do to be able to be at peace, to live a safe life. It can be such a horror movie if we encounter these kind of people, from out of the blue, like every day. Yes, it is just awful. I just saw this one guy who is also doing videos on YouTube, also for us God's chosen ones, and he's been talking about suicide lately. He was just talking about killing himself, ending his life on a video that I just saw, and of course I really feel for him, yes, but at the same time there are so many things that I would like to, say to him, to talk him out of it, as I've always done to people when they came to me that they wanted to kill themselves. People have come to me with serious issues, so it's not anything new to me. And so I was just thinking to myself that, clearly devil is winning when he's talking about things like this publicly. And this is what we should not let happen, because, we are warriors of light, empathy and kindness and joy and peace and healing, and we are healers, and we are not here to suffer. As I always say, we're not here to suffer, even though we can go through so much suffering, people hating us. Just the other day, a woman attacked me on the train out of the blue. She did not like me, clearly, and my energy and my light. As this always happens, that they get triggered because they don't like me, because I'm a healer, because I have Jesus in me. Anyway, so earlier this year I actually addressed the topic of being suicidal, because I have also been there earlier in my life when I was 15 years old, because I was so badly bullied. I'm not sure if, well, it can be true that us women are stronger than men, and maybe we have to go through more, actually. Maybe people are more hard on us than on men. It can happen. At least I've been sensing that personally in my own life. That usually men can be so pampered throughout their lives, and then they don't know what it's like to be a strong woman who has suffered. But anyway, we should just always be the example of peace and joy and love and healing, and be grateful for what we have the blessings, have the miracles. We should not take things for granted. My work should not be taken for granted. I'm not here to be here to be taken for granted. None of us are, and we have to value ourselves and our lives. It could end at any moment, at any second. You could be dead. And that is just how it is. So we should always just be, centered and grounded and feel blessed. So healthy boundaries, of course, and to be aware of the abuse that happened to, and to know what you will tolerate and what you won't. So anything that is not aligned with you, that you feel that you are not okay with, it has to go, because it's all from the devil, because he loves to deceive and lie to us. He loves to just deceive us in so many ways, and he can attack us through people. Like the woman the other day was clearly demonic energy again. She was so triggered and so angry and so full of hate. The energy was just so heavy. Sometimes I just really feel like I just want to wear this shirt that will say, "I'm sensitive, so please leave me the fuck alone and stop projecting your negative shit on me. That is not my problem." That is really one of those powerful realizations that I have come to now at this age in my at this point of my life. having gone through so much, and then I was left alone with the aftermath. And so all I've had, basically is God, Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit. And they have empowered and helped me, yes. Of course, God always sees us. Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit, they can sense and see us always, especially when we are God's chosen ones, here on a mission to help the world. So we should just be open and believe, have faith, trust, and lean on them. It's not always easy because we have this human life in these human bodies, but anyway, it's doable and it's what we should do, and it's one of those ways home. It's actually the best way home, the most powerful way home. Because heaven is home, God is home. But since we are living these human lives, we need those boundaries with others. So, as I was saying, if you don't have those clear boundaries in place, or there have been too many toxic, evil people attacking you, violating your boundaries, who do not hear your boundaries, they do not respect them, so you feel and notice that you need to be reinforcing them. So that is really draining, of course. It's very, very draining to be constantly, again, repeating yourself and saying, no, I don't want that. No, can you hear me? Do you understand me, what I'm saying here? Because there's no other option. But it's always a big win, of course, in itself. The more you can just set that boundary anyway, even if you feel that they don't hear you or respect you or understand you. Just like me here with my work, this is my business. I've been doing everything by myself, and it's been a long journey, and it's been a lot of work to create these videos and my services. But I've been doing it with my mission in mind, and with the excitement and joy and gratitude that I have been feeling throughout when I've been creating my services and everything. So, naturally, my clients and customers are those who are aligned with that. One of the healthy boundaries, I think, is that you have common sense when it comes to everything. And that also is very healing. When you really have common sense, you have rationality, and you don't let your feelings and emotions and thoughts get you carried away too much, and you stop overthinking, and you just gather your own power and energy, strength back, and you are tuned and aligned with yourself and with God. That is the best place to be, the healthiest place to be, because people can be stealing our energy, especially when they are so evil. So to have common sense and to clearly notice and sense and pick up when somebody is not for you, or something is not for you, it feels off, it feels toxic, and it feels like this person is definitely having some issues, if they're being mean in any way, if they're being rude, selfish. Like for me, when people have been asking for free help, I'm not here to be used and abused and taken advantage of after all that I went through. So, no, that's not also aligned. So one example of a boundary. When my entire life has been battling, fighting for my rights, fighting for my health and sanity. And yes, I overcame that. Otherwise, I would not be here talking, doing what I do. I would not be here. And there have been many, setbacks and blockages on the way, and those toxic people attacking me on social media too. So of course I've had to take precautions to protect myself and my energy, because otherwise I cannot function and focus on the things that matter. So that is also an example of having those healthy boundaries. And the reminder that when a person is really toxic and evil, they are not used to respecting anyone's boundaries. So all they are used to is having power and control over others who don't stand up for themselves. So they are likely very used to having that egotistical, devilish, demonic power within them. And so that is the result, like the woman the other day, and these toxic people on social media attacking me who don't know anything about me. So these are examples. So, of course, that is why, they act that way. And it's always about their issues, not the victims. The victim is not responsible for their issues, especially when you're dealing with random people who have no history with you even. So it's ridiculous what they do. It is so immature and childish and ridiculous. And this woman, for example, I just told her to go to therapy and get a life. I told her clearly that you are being immature. I was calm, because the Holy Spirit has been giving me a lot of power to be able to be calm, which I'm very happy about. The first thing that just comes to my mind, now if I encounter people like this, I still get scared, when they attack me out of nowhere. So it is natural, of course, for me to feel that feeling, yes, but I'm a mature, a stable adult, and I'm giving an example in myself always of what it is like to act like a mature adult. And so that is why I was calm, and I told her, the fact that it was her issue, not mine. And I did give feedback about her to the train company, and I did get a kind reply, thankfully. That I feel is because I've been doing, all the work to get closer to God, closer and closer, even though He was always with me, He was always within me, yes, but anyway. So, because not too long ago, the train company did not reply as kindly as a person there did now. So it's been clearly a shift as well. And I had told them what real good customer service. So I had told them that what good customer service really is, because, you know, I've been I've been saying that whenever I would encounter situations where I felt like I needed to give that feedback, because a responsible company will always come forward and, you know, accept that valuable, constructive feedback and use it for their benefit in order to serve people better. And I would not ever treat my clients and customers wrong. Of course, the same goes everywhere with me. That's because I had to fight for my health and sanity and my boundaries and my life for so long to be here, to be who I am, speaking my truth and doing my work and helping people. So it's been a rocky road. It's been a long, painful road from depression, recovery, dealing with sexual harassment, bullying, physical abuse, domestic violence, narcissistic abuse, all these kind of things. So really, really you can say that I'm fed up. And so if you resonate with me and my story, then you are definitely my client and you are in the right place. And if you don't, of course, then you are not aligned with me. So if you feel surprised that you are still alive and healthy and sane after everything, if you have also gone through severe panic attacks, PTSD symptoms, anxiety and depression and such, and you had your hands shaking, you had your body going numb, for example, from all the pain, emotional, physical abuse, whatever it is, emotional, mental abuse is so serious and it's so crazy that, you know, people cannot usually see its effects. So that, of course, makes the devil happy, because you know, he can be laughing like ha ha ha. And of course, they always want to make you feel guilty for setting those boundaries. They consider you being rude when you're just protecting your space and your mental, emotional health, your physical health, because they have no idea what kind of a pain you have been through already. So you cannot take your health for granted and treat it as a joke. You actually have to pay attention to it, because you have no choice. You have to pay attention to your sensitive feelings, emotions, and everything. That makes you you, so that you can live, so that you can fulfill your life purpose like God wants you to do. So these people are just so cruel and selfish and just take and take and take and destroy you. So do stay following me and book a session with me. Grab one of my freebies, because I'm sure that you need help. That is why you are here watching this video. You need help. And if you resonate with me and my energy and my story, so do accept and welcome my help. And again, this is my business, so I'm not here doing charity or being taken advantage of. I have bills to pay too. I'm a mother and a cat owner, and I'm the only provider for my family. So I'm just being honest here about my life, and I'm sure that I'm one of the most genuine and real people on YouTube and Instagram. I'm just saying these things because these are also my healthy boundaries, and I'm being the example as the powerful female voice and leader and coach and therapist who I am, that I worked years for, to be and to become, and also to be myself, who I always was. And so it feels that I need to say this, because sometimes I've been getting those emails and comments when clearly people did not understand anything where I'm coming from. So you also need to understand that I'm not your mother, I'm not your friend, I'm not your partner, and you cannot hit on me. And I'm here to help and fulfill my life mission. So clear signs that you lack healthy boundaries in one way or another is that you get constant disrespect, you feel drained out. You feel like you're gonna die, basically. You have those panic attacks, you're in that anxiety and pain. So these are clear signs that something is not working. And usually it is of those boundaries, because boundaries are self-care, and it should be daily. And the effects can be severe if you don't set them. So grab my Boundaries Bootcamp guide only for €7. It will help you to start getting clarity, to start practicing them, to be really clear on them. First of all, what they are and what they can do to your life and your well-being, because you owe it to yourself. And my self-care checklist is free, so it doesn't cost you anything. And you get to be on my mailing list when I can send you emails from time to time. And therefore you can also receive more honest guidance from me and support. And it's always a boundary lesson again and again and again, because the devil thinks that you are an easy target. So it will keep on attacking you through these people. So if you feel that you're being attacked and gaslighted and manipulated and brainwashed and abused all the time, then clearly it can also be a boundary lesson. That you need to start setting those boundaries again and again and again and again. And you need to reinforce them and reinforce them and reinforce them. Unapologetically. Like me and my son almost got hit by a car several times when my son was a baby, and I was like, seriously, what is going on here? My son almost could have died once. And so I was really a protective mother and angry about that. So when these things started to happen, clearly my intuition was telling me it is the devil's plan. I always felt it deep down, even though I was not fully aware of it like I'm now. So I'm grateful for all of that knowledge and empowerment that I have now, because I've really worked so hard on it. And so it's important to acknowledge and to not feel guilty and ashamed when setting those boundaries, because then the whole boundary loses its purpose if you feel guilty and ashamed. It's up to me to send out the message to the universe and to tell people when to fuck off, when they have to fuck off, when they have no business in being in my life and hurting me, disrespecting me, or trying to take advantage of me again by having free help from me. I've helped so many people for free. I have served basically thousands of people. Some have paid me, some have not, because of course I was sacrificing myself for years when I was always helping my friends, for example, because I loved to do that. So of course, yes, it always came from my heart and my soul. And yes, it feels so lovely when you can help somebody and be kind to them. Yes, it does. So I'm just saying that clearly it is that boundary lesson. If you keep on encountering it again, of course, it can also be a demonic stronghold, but then you need to do the praying every day and the boundary setting every day. So they will help. That is what I have done. Because these are the only options to go. And of course, to also ground in my own energy, to feel that I'm aligned with myself, that I'm where I'm supposed to be in my life, doing what I need to do in my life, honestly and unapologetically. And again, I'm an example here, so it is what it is. So it does not make you a dick or a bitch to set those boundaries. When you set those honest, unapologetic boundaries, I have my boundaries, I have my responsibilities as a coach and a solution-based therapist, as a human angel, as a sensitive being, who I am, empath, highly sensitive woman, who I am, a mother, a cat owner, who I am. I'm responsible for my own life, for my family, and for my work. And this is my way of doing my work, to be myself authentically. And so anyone who is not aligned with that has to go. There is no other option. And it does not make me a bitch to be saying these things. It means that I value myself and my work. Yeah, so I was saying that it means that I value myself and my work and my life mission and God. And everything that has happened in my life that I worked so much for. That I'm not here to be taken for granted or walked over. I'm not a doormat. That's the same way as I teach my clients and followers that they are not doormats. And I see and sense and pick up that all of you who have watched my videos, you could use my help. You could really use my help, because that is the reason why you found me and came to me. Because you needed that help and support and encouragement. And so don't hesitate to get in touch. So immediately when you see and sense, notice, and you feel that you pick it up, that something is too draining, something is too much. You are self-sabotaging, you are violating your own boundaries and value and worth if you don't set those healthy, honest, unapologetic boundaries. And for me, it was really hurtful when these misaligned people were trying to comment on my YouTube, for example, and telling me how I should do my work. No, you cannot tell me how I should do my work. Only God tells me what I need to do and when I need to do it through my intuition, by being myself. I just heard a dating coach say that these men have learned to abuse women, take advantage of women, hurt women, break their hearts, and all of that, because these women don't set those boundaries. These women stay silent when they should speak up. These women don't stand up for themselves. They are not authentically themselves. They are sacrificing themselves for these men to be happy. But what good does that do? None. You just self-sabotage. You destroy yourself and your entire life. So if this resonates, you have to wake up and start making those changes. We are born the way we should be, how God has intended, how the universe has intended for us to be, and we're here to help. So we're not here to be bullied and abused. And I get sick and tired of people trying to comment on the way I look or what I should do in my videos. You don't get to decide that. You don't get to have power over me, and that is my message, and that is my clear boundary. I'm a grown woman. I'm a mother. I'm a business owner here. I'm a light worker. Yes, I'm a sensitive human angel, a sensitive woman, but I have been through hell and back too many times in my life, and it's a miracle that I'm even here. So either respect all of that or get out and don't come into my territory. As sensitive beings, we simply cannot protect our health and sanity and energy if we let it be scattered all over the place and people just coming in and going out the way they please. And so, for example, on Instagram, I have said now that you cannot message me if you don't follow me, because I need to protect my time and my energy and my effort, and I need to focus on my business, and I need to focus on my message, my health, and everything, how it is supposed to be, how it is aligned. So that is immediately misalignment, you know. If I let another scammer, spammer, toxic person try to get to me, or a man hit on me on Instagram, for example. So I don't want those. So no disrespect, no bullying, no abuse should be ever allowed. So we are born the way we are as sensitive beings. That is not a reason to abuse and bully us. And the way we look is nobody's business. I love those quotes, which I also follow very often, that I post and share sometimes as well, and use in my own work as well, and I agree with them. There are clear synchronicity and guidance that talk about self-sabotage and boundaries and self-care and self-love and all of that. And so they are also good reminders how we owe it to ourselves to be ourselves and to set those boundaries and stop that self-sabotage and stop allowing disrespect. And of course, that we have to have our own rights and opinions and boundaries and points of view, which we have also likely worked hard for our entire lives. So they are valuable and golden gifts, more valuable than any amount of money when you have your health and sanity in place after all that trauma and abuse that you have endured. That was not your fault. So I had to learn this, and it brings self-compassion when you realize it, and it helps you, to become free, and you understand that it's their issues, it's not your issues. Those users and abusers don't have any empathy, no compassion, no common sense, no manners, no conscience. They just go around, they walk around just doing what they do. They think that they just always get everything their way, and they are used to it, when people have not had boundaries, like I was just saying. So this is the result, this is the toxic cycle. But it's up to beings like us to be speaking up and setting those boundaries and standing up for ourselves, because again, we cannot be our authentic selves if we don't do that. And anyone who has a problem with it, who is again disrespecting you and using you and taking your energy, then they can just leave.